Hello, hello! Welcome to today's live English lesson here on the Speak English with Vanessa YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm here with my husband, Dan.
Hello!
And we're going to be having a natural conversation about emotions today. So I hope that you'll learn some new words. If we use any new expressions, we're going to explain them as we go. It's going to be pretty spontaneous. We have a couple questions to talk about, but it's not so planned. So I hope that your listening skills will be tested and you'll just have a good time. And if you enjoy this live lesson with us together, having a conversation, talking about vocabulary, we do this every month in the Fearless Fluency Club. Dan helps me to explain the monthly vocabulary expressions, so you can join the Fearless Fluency Club for $5 for the first month with the coupon code NEW, and there's a link in the description. So thank you everyone who is here to join to talk with me live. I'm glad that you're joining from all around the world. We can see friends from Brazil, from Poland, from France, from Indonesia. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd like to start with a question for Dan.
We're going to talk about being emotional.
Yes, having emotions, because everyone has emotions.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. Well, I thought we'd start with a positive emotion question. I want to know what's something that makes you feel excited.
Excited.
Yes, yes.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was food.
I agree.
I mean, food is so exciting. If you just see if you're really hungry and you see a hamburger in front of you, you get really, really excited.
I want to know, do you get excited by food? Mm-hmm. So in this sentence that Dan just said, he said, I get excited by something. I get excited by food. Or I get excited when I see food. So what about for you? Can you make a sentence using the sentence structure? For me, I agree. I get excited when I smell delicious food. It's really exciting for me. In fact, a couple days ago, I was cleaning out my closet and I found an old journal that I wrote when I was 7 years old.
Did you write a poem to food?
I wrote a lot about food. I think
Dear pizza, I love you with all my heart.
It was almost like that. I wrote about apples. I wrote about ice cream. I wrote about lots of food because as a kid, I don't know, it's exciting, right?
You know, when I was looking at your journals, I remember you were very excited about boys.
Oh.
She had her little boyfriends. They weren't really boyfriends. She was viewing them from afar.
Just from afar.
Yes.
Just from afar. But
she would say, one journal said, and you were looking at you know who.
Oh.
I don't know who that was.
So can you explain what you know who means? We're getting to another question here, which is about embarrassment. I feel embarrassed.
Yeah. You know who just means you don't want to say who it is. So it's a secret. It's kind of like in Harry Potter. Have you ever read Harry Potter where the book says he who shall not be named?
Oh, so in Harry Potter.
But it's kind of the opposite of that. It's not a bad guy.
It's not a bad guy, but it's someone who's secret. You're trying to not say their name. So in Harry Potter, Voldemort, you're not supposed to say his name. So they might say, oh, I see you know who. And that just means you don't want to say his name.
Yeah.
So you could say this for someone you're talking about, but you don't really want to say their name specifically. Yeah. And just to let you know, any vocabulary words that we discuss and talk about after this live lesson is finished, I'm going to write them in the description below this live lesson so that you can go down and check them out, see the sentence that we used, and kind of get a better picture for them, because I know we're going to be talking fast and talking about a lot of things. So I hope that that will be useful to you. All right, so let's get started with a more serious question. I want to know, what's something that annoys you?
Serious. Yeah. Something that annoys me?
Yeah.
But seriously annoys me?
Or it could be something that's kind of silly that annoys you, but it's not so happy. It's not excited and not happy about it. It's something that annoys you.
A simple thing that annoys me is we used to have this fan in our living room, and the fan would be spinning, and it would make us a clicking sound. It'd go click, 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 over and over and over again. And I could not take that sound. It was so annoying. So I had to turn it off, and then we were hot.
It was hot in our
because
house.
I would rather be hot than hear that sound over and over again.
So the fan annoyed you.
Yes.
And you used a great phrasal verb. I can't take it.
Yeah, I couldn't take it.
Yes. What does it mean to say if you say, "Oh, my job is so annoying. I can't take it anymore."
Yeah, that means you're about to leave the job or turn something off or just stop it, go away. You can't take it.
Yeah, I kind of have this image in my mind of your patience. Your patience is lowering and lowering and lowering, and then all of a sudden you don't have any more patience. That's when you can't take it. Like, oh, I've tried to be patient. I tried to be patient, and then I can't take it.
Yeah. Do you find me annoying?
I wouldn't say not usually.
Well, you can't really be married to somebody you
Yeah.
find it. Well, you could, but it wouldn't be a fun marriage.
Yeah, I think that when there's things that you do that annoy me, I usually just tell you right away. Like, hey, stop tapping. When he drums on tables and I'm trying to concentrate, I stop tapping. I need to focus. I tell you, I think, pretty directly.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're very direct.
Especially when...
You're not very annoying, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's not annoying. Ever.
That's good.
She's kind of perfect, really.
Well, you're a little biased.
I am a little biased.
Well, let's go to the second question.
Okay.
And my second question is, have you ever felt down in the dumps? And this is an idiom, but I think we can explain it in just a quick sense. How would you explain down in the dumps?
That means depressed. Maybe close to depressed. You're very, very sad.
You're not clinically depressed. You're not taking medication, but you're really sad.
You're very, very, very sad.
Yeah, so this is a kind of more serious question.
I know. This is gonna get dark.
Have you ever felt down in the dumps? And I want to know for you, have you ever felt down in the dumps?
I know we've been down in the dumps because we were long distance before.
Can you explain what that means?
Yeah. So if you're in a long distance relationship, you don't live close by.
That's so hard.
So she was in France and I was in the United States, and
or I was in South Carolina and you were in Tennessee. We were 6 hours apart. Then we were an ocean apart for 3 years.
Yeah. So when I was down in the dumps the most, it was probably in college when we separated. But we were still dating, but we didn't see each other very much. And I had no friends. And I was living alone. And it was a new school. And I was watching YouTube videos for the first time about conspiracy theories.
And you just go down that
and I went down a rabbit trail.
Spiral.
Which I don't believe the conspiracy theories anymore.
But it was a difficult time for you.
Back then, I thought the world was upside down.
Oh, no. So this idiom, down in the dumps, what is a dump? So we can kind of get this visual image of dumps.
I kind of assumed it meant like garbage.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That
trash.
When you say
I'm in the trash.
Yeah, you kind of imagine you're in this really terrible place. It's where people take their old couches or their trash, and this is called the dump. So when I was little, I remember my dad would say if he had something that the trash man wouldn't take, maybe some big item or something like that, he would often ask me, Vanessa, do you want to go to the dump with me? And I don't know why, but that was so fun for me because it was out in the country and we got to drive on these fun roads, and then we got to throw things into this big hole.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is always fun. So this is the literal dump. D-U-M-P. We would go to the dump, but if you are figuratively down in the dumps, down in the dumps, it means you're sad.
Yeah. Have you been down in the dumps?
Yeah, I think that the times that I've been down in the dumps has been in serious situations, like family problems or when we were separated, those kind of relational deep things. I feel like I don't get down in the dumps for small things.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Or for very long. I've never seen Vanessa sad for a long time.
I
she usually gets happy pretty quickly.
Well, it's hard for me to maintain always
sorrow.
Yeah, always being sad. I can have a hurt inside that lingers for a while, but I think that constantly, when I go to the store, being sad with the cashier. When I come home and I'm cooking dinner, being sad. When I talk with Dan, I can't keep it up for that long. I might feel sad inside. And
she can't keep a smile away, honestly. It just comes.
It's there. Well, let's go to the third question, which is, do you get easily embarrassed? And here I'm using a get expression plus an adjective. Get embarrassed, get happy, get hungry, get thirsty. But this one is embarrassed.
No.
So do you get easily embarrassed?
No.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Yeah, I don't, not really. Maybe if I'm thinking about going to a party or seeing friends, maybe I get a little nervous that I'll say something silly or dumb or I don't know. But when I'm actually in a situation with people and I say something, I'll say almost anything. And maybe it's kind of silly and I don't feel embarrassed.
I feel like you're the kind of person who has a very low embarrassment level.
Wait,
like
maybe high. Wait, no.
You don't often get embarrassed.
I don't often get embarrassed.
But you can...
I say a lot of embarrassing things, though.
You can inadvertently make other people feel embarrassed. And inadvertently means you're not trying to, but you just do. And I remember one time when we were... This isn't so serious, but I remember one time we were living in Korea, and one of our good friends was walking along the road, the sidewalk with us, and you just did something simple, something I'm used to. I didn't think anything about it. You just like jumped up on this brick wall and just went, "Yeah, I'm so happy," or you just did something kind of silly. And she said, "Oh, Dan, what are you doing? That's so crazy." But for you, it was nothing.
You are so crazy.
It was nothing. It wasn't that crazy, but for her, she was embarrassed by your actions.
Yeah.
And I would say a moment ago when you were talking about my journals, I felt a little embarrassed.
Talking about ex-boyfriends.
I felt a little embarrassed, but I think that that's, for me, it's easy to see when I'm embarrassed because I easily blush. And
I do too, a little bit.
A little bit?
Last night, I got a little embarrassed.
Oh, last night?
Yeah.
What happened last night?
I said something at trivia.
Oh, we went with our friends and you said something embarrassing.
Yeah, I got a little embarrassed, but it wasn't a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like have to walk away and cry.
Oh, sure. Should I share with everyone why you were embarrassed?
What did I say? I don't remember.
I remember
I've already erased it from my memory.
This is our trivia team, and trivia is where it's kind of like a game show. We go to a restaurant or a bar, and our team, which is just our friends, with other teams, we have to answer some questions correctly about music,
trivial
or
things.
History, things that aren't really important. That's why it's called trivia. Trivial. It's not important. But one of the questions was TV show theme songs.
Oh, I do remember this.
So our team didn't know.
It's a little embarrassing.
Didn't know the TV show theme song, and Dan knew it. And the theme song was for
Baywatch.
And Baywatch is just a silly.
It's a stupid soap opera.
A silly show, and Dan was embarrassed that he knew the theme song.
Yeah, and it's about women in swimsuits.
Yeah.
They're running, they're saving people, and it's really dumb.
So you felt embarrassed that you knew that?
I never really watched it. Not much. I just knew the theme song for some reason. Was I right?
Yeah, you were right.
I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
I know Baywatch.
It was that. And you
Go watch some Baywatch.
Yeah, it's sometimes if you know something, but you feel a little bit embarrassed that you know it, it's a great way to use this. I feel embarrassed because I shouldn't have known that. Oh, that was a little weird.
Yeah. Well, when were you the most embarrassed?
Oh, the most embarrassed?
What's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened?
I feel like a lot of times I try to just brush it off and pretend like I'm not embarrassed, but really inside I am embarrassed. So maybe I'll laugh or smile. Sometimes that's my go-to. Or maybe I'll just change the subject or say something like, "Oh, that's interesting. Well, let's look at this." Or just kind of, divert attention to something else.
Yeah. You can't think of one moment, though?
I feel like...
I can.
Oh, you can?
Should I tell you mine?
Oh, you're going to tell about when I was embarrassed?
No, when I was embarrassed.
Okay, go ahead.
My story is easy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was in college.
Oh.
And I was doing a presentation.
Oh, okay, yeah. You should talk about this.
Yeah, I had a presentation in front of the whole class.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't sleep that night. And I got up to do my presentation and I forgot everything. And then I had to leave the room. That was very embarrassing.
Yeah.
Maybe the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me.
That would be really embarrassing.
That was bad.
And I wasn't in the room when that happened, but you could say...
I think I called you afterwards.
I think so too.
This is so embarrassing.
If I were in the room, I could say I was embarrassed for you. So this means Dan is embarrassed, but I feel embarrassed because he feels embarrassed. So you're kind of like connecting your feelings. I feel embarrassed because he feels embarrassed.
Everybody felt sorry for me.
Oh, that's a great expression. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So, well, that's kind of what you were saying. I felt bad and they felt bad too. So they felt sorry for me. So both of us felt bad.
Yeah. So if someone has something bad happen to them, so let's imagine that you are in an English class and you're trying to give a presentation, but then you get up in front of the class and you feel so nervous that you can't say anything. And you just, and then the teacher says, why don't you sit down and try again?
This is basically what happened.
It happened to Dan,
Yeah.
But you're a native English speaker, so it can happen to anyone. And so the other students might say, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry that happened, because they're kind of sharing your embarrassment or sharing your sadness. It doesn't even have to be embarrassment. It could just be sadness. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you because something sad happened. It's just a sharing of feelings. All right. So my next question is about a negative and a positive emotion. So I want to know, when you're feeling stressed, what do you do to relax? And before we talk about it, I just want to mention the grammar here. When you say, when I feel stressed, stress has an ED at the end. And I know that we often say, I have stress, but it's pretty common to say, I feel stressed. So make sure that when you say stressed, there's like a T sound at the end. I feel stressed. When I feel stressed, I punch a wall. When I feel stressed, I go for a walk.
She does.
As you can see.
So stressed.
What are some things that you do when you feel stressed to feel more relaxed?
I would say the best thing to do for me is to go outside.
Oh, I'm curious. Why do you think that works? Because I feel like a lot of people say that. When I feel stressed, I go outside.
Well, especially because I tend to look at a screen a lot. So maybe I'm looking at my computer, and then I'll look at my phone, and then I'm reading all kinds of, posts about everything. I'm reading news stories about politics, and I'm just getting overwhelmed, and that's after work already, So if you go outside and you don't bring your phone, then it's just you and the sky and the trees, and I'm climbing a mountain now. I'm not doing anything that's too mentally anguishing.
Sure. I feel like for me, going outside definitely helps. And I think that it helps because it kind of gives me a bigger perspective. Like I remember one time something happened on my website. And for me, I'm an English teacher. I want to teach English. Technology is interesting to me and it's a challenge for me. But when something goes wrong, I can easily feel stressed or overwhelmed by it because I don't easily know the solution. So I had some problem with my website and I was feeling stressed, and I just walked out of this room where I make lessons. And then you said, let's go for a walk. Let's just walk. And when we walked around the neighborhood, it was like 15 minutes, but I felt so much better. I just looked around and thought, there is a world outside my website. There are trees. There's people walking around.
It helps to move too.
Yeah, you just have a bigger perspective of things going on. And like maybe for you, when you're looking at bad things happening in the world or politics, you feel like that's everything.
It's easy to feel stressed nowadays. Thank you, social media.
So when you want to feel relaxed, getting away from that is really helpful. And nature is really nice for that. And something funny, it works for our baby too.
Oh yeah. He likes being outside a lot.
Yeah. Whenever he's fussy or crying, when we walk outside, instantly he seems just curious and aware, and it works. Yeah. It's amazing. So it's a good tip if you're feeling stressed
Nature
about
is
learning
good
English.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, go outside, take a deep breath.
Stop and smell the roses.
Stop and smell the roses. Yes, this is a good English proverb. Maybe there's something similar in your language as well.
Stop and pet a cat.
Pet a cat. Yeah, what does stop and smell the roses actually mean? Because maybe there's no roses. What does this figuratively mean?
It means stop being distracted by everything or worried about everything and appreciate the small things.
Yeah, appreciate the small things.
Notice the small things around you.
Yeah, I think.
Or like simple pleasures.
Yeah, that's especially what I think. Like taking time to slow down and notice the things around you.
Yeah.
In fact, we just finished reading a book about a girl who had a lot of stress in her life. And when at the end of the book, her ideas changed, her mental health changed. When she was getting healthier, she walked outside and she noticed all those little details. She noticed the people walking on the streets, their dogs, the flowers, the shop. She noticed those details, and I think that
smiled about them.
Yeah, and smiled about them, really
smile.
Appreciating those things. Sure, sometimes even just a simple smile can help, but stress is certainly no fun. Well, thank you, Dan, for talking about all of these emotions today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, excitement.
I'm glad.
Annoying, down in the dumps.
We didn't talk about anger, though.
Oh, anger. Do you want to talk about anger?
I'm so angry that we aren't talking about anger.
All right. Well, we just did.
Not really.
Well,
we don't get angry anyways. We're above anger.
I think everyone gets angry. It's good to get angry about things that you should be angry about, I think.
True.
Like I'm angry that there is injustice in the world. I'm angry that, people mistreat children or mistreat their dogs. It's good to be angry about those things, but you can't let it really get you down in the dumps for long. But I think there's a time and a place for anger.
For sure.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this live lesson. And if you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments. Try to use these emotion words that we use and try to make your own sentences in the comments. If you enjoyed this, let us know and we'll do it again. Have another conversation.
Yeah.
Check the description for some of these vocabulary words, some of the questions that we talked about. And I hope that you'll join me here on my YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe to get notifications for any future lesson.
Click subscribe.
Yes, click subscribe, click the bell so you get a notification. And if you'd like to become my personal student and also learn with Dan in the Fearless Fluency Club, you can do that for $5 for your first month with the coupon code NEW. Check the description below this video. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you again the next time. Bye.
Peace.